Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to those who are with us this morning, and welcome to Senator Feinstein. It is important work this morning. Since our committee last convened, we've seen some changes in the Senate rules with respect to nominations, and without seeking to revisit any of that this morning, I hope that all senators would agree that our committee's process on nominations, which has always been very significant, perhaps has renewed significance. I think it's worthy of note that through history, more than 90% of nominees are confirmed, and roll call votes, when they're taken, are ordinarily not close. Nominees often are confirmed with large majorities. Some have contended that this process has been just a rubber stamp for the President. But on the other hand, I think others would agree with me that the high pass rate is an indicator that the process is generally working properly. Either way, the work of the committee generally and of this committee specifically is crucial in the confirmation process. Among other things, through the committee process, the President and certainly nominees themselves should expect a thorough vetting process, and thus it's good to be in that vetting process this morning, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to welcome each of our distinguished nominees to the committee. Thank you all for your willingness to serve. I'd like to first recognize a fellow Alaskan, Mr. Tommy Beaudreau. Some may not recognize that Mr. Beaudreau grew up in Alaska. He graduated from Service High School in Anchorage. His family moved to the state when his dad got a job working on the North Slope, which is a story that's very familiar to a lot of us in Alaska. I'm always pleased to see Alaskans holding positions with decision-making authority over activities in the state, because no one understands the importance more of the blend of resource development and the protection of our lands and our waters like someone who's lived there and experienced it firsthand. Mr. Beaudreau, it was great to visit with you yesterday. As I mentioned in our conversation, I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you for a lot of different things, but to really complete the very important work, even as you conclude your service in the current position. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you in your new role here. I've been assured by you and by others that your new position represents a promotion for you and is evidence of the value that the Secretary and the administration assign to your council. And with your experience on Arctic issues and other issues that are very important to the state, I'm optimistic that wise counsel will be heard at the top echelons at the Department of Interior. So I look forward to you in this new position. Ms. Sue, it was good to visit with you prior to the recess. As I mentioned at that time, the Department's role as Alaska's landlord is always front and center. I think Mr. Beaudreau saw that firsthand. I had kind of hoped that in your previous position you had become more familiar with the policy issues as they specifically related to Alaska, which consume or will consume so much of your time. I think you have a learning curve in front of you, and I'm looking forward to not only learning more about you today and through your answers to the questions on the record, but about your knowledge, your experience, and your policy views on issues that are important to Alaska and to the nation.